Respected sir and ma'am, it was my prestigious moment that education department gave me a chance to record my innovation and make it more popular. Myself, Pransh Joshi, innovator of Hider View system. My father name is S.C. Joshi, mother's name is Geeta Devi, our school principal ma'am name is Mrs. Sunita Singh, and my guide mentor teacher name is Mr. Paramjit Singh, lecturer of physics. Before talking about the innovations, I would like to highlight few achievements that were achieved during this time. Firstly, I won Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam International Student Scientist Innovation Award 2022. From IIT Guwahati, I got Decathlon Silver Certificate due to my prestige in sites of innovations and mental abilities. Also, a very prominent newspaper covered this innovation named Dainik Jagran, and we had just some days ago had a meeting with Mr. Narendra Singh Jassal, principal of the ISTC CISO Sector 30. He's a very prominent scientist, and he helped me in telling about the PRISM scheme of government for further development and innovations in this project. My interest field are experimentation, research, and technology. So, as we can see, that we have already got a newspaper covered this innovation. They told the overview of this project, how it was made, and many definitions around it. It was a huge achievement for me that newspaper covered this full news. Also, in this PPT, I will be talking about introduction to my innovation, thoughts behind this project, reasons for this innovation, achievement in this project, and future follow-ups and development in this place. So next. Now the most important question that arises is why to use this Hyder view system? What is the prominence of this thing? As per we know, the Central Water Commissions, total 85.3% of water was consumed in agriculture in 2000 year only. This likely to decrease from 83.3 by 2025. India does not spend any time or money in conserving water consumed in agriculture. Surprisingly, water conservation takes place in industries and utility sectors, both of which consume less than 5% of nation's water. The financial minister in 2016's budget committed to find rupees 86,500 crore for funding 99 irrigation projects, but it is still waste of time because it does not reduce the water stress from the districts because irrigation canal are wasteful. They draw 4 times more water from rivers than what is delivered to the field. Water utilization efficiency is less than 30%, in the best cases even worse. As for 2017, the state that ration in this way have combined population of 585 million with 365 million in rural areas only, which produce more than 65% of agricultural output. Once we recognize that farmers are being rationed, it becomes less obvious that they must overuse the water. And we can also see not only in India but worldwide this issue has even no implementation. And if it is started, but people cannot get cheaper and portable system, it is only getting more costly. In such a case, we can take a country known as Africa, which is already getting converted to desert due to this water shortage. Now, I would like to tell you that as we know, if any innovation occurs, the main foregrounds for it is inspiration, is dedication. Now, I would like to tell about my inspirations for this project. It was like this that a certain experience in one of my trips led to this astonishing innovations to occur, where I saw a farmer of a certain village at my home place crying, and with concern I asked him about what has happened. Then he told that overwatering and over-irrigation has led the plants to die and he can't get the money to pay back the loan, which also made me a little disheartened due to this. After reaching home, I saw the same scene. My all plants have died due to overwatering by maid as I left them for 1 month. Then, with this thing, I thought that should I create a system that could solve this problem more efficiently and more cheaply. So, keeping this in mind, I use latest ION programs and hardwares to make a solution, thus creating this extensive system on 1 month. After some time, my guide teacher, Mr. Paramjit Singh, sir, lecturer of physics, introduced me with a program known as Dr. ABJ Abdul Kalam International Student Scientist Award Competition, organized by DASA India. We both discussed about this problem. Sir gave idea to make a research using electronics and IT technology, and we discussed to make some low-cost indigenous device suitable for farmers to know the optimum level of humidity in the soil and connect the device to some mobile app using information technology. I started working on it, assembled our components, and we tested the device in physics lab also, which was very successful. My mother, Miss Geeta, which is presently the counselor at the same school where I was studying, morally and fully supported me in my research degree. Now, the main topic comes, which is the main thing about hydro system. Better say insights of this extensive hardware software by combining systems. When we hear the word digitalization, one thing that comes in our mind is a system where everything is digitally working, etc. etc. Keeping this in mind, I created a software and hardware ecosystem that helps in keeping track of water and level needed by the plants through scientific annotations and symbol allocations. This working of hydro system is pretty simple and straightforward. It uses its hardware Meister sensor to collect data, acting as a variable resistor whose resistance varies according to the water contents of the soil. Then it's sent back to the main server, which is created on a cloud device, and transfer the hex data into binary format, which computer reads and then give a certain calculation to the applications, which tells about the how much water humidity is there in the soil. Also, all this coding was packed in an XAPK format, which could save mobile data and also directly capture data and calculate according to the already built-in coded formula, thus helping farmers hugely to save crops. Now, let us talk about some components that were used. If I give a hardware overview, then there was three things used. Number one was a crop sensor, two Arduino main chip, which acted like a database inhibitor, and third was the HC05, which was used for Bluetooth purposes, as there are many places where mobile data is not available to farmers, just like Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, etc. Now, if I take the software overview, we use Bluetooth or net connections, which are for connectivity purposes, connecting the application to the main chip and then to the server. HydroView application, it is for interface purposes. It tells farmers about how much humidity in the water. It is made in a bilingual format so that any person could understand it if he knows Hindi and English. And second is Hydro system, the main server of the whole system. Better say mother of the system, which has every scientific notions that I created for this purpose. If I take forward the future development or follow up in this system, then in addition, then I would love to add more sensors to help farmers in a greater way to get a soil profile pickups, like adding photo sensors and many more things. Connecting it to geolocation so that a more reasonable calculation could be get according to the oil data, because we know that different type of geological conditions have different type of soils and its constituents. And also we also know that different type of crops uses different amount of water. So according to it, it will be added and the parameters will be also set. I would also increase the area coverage of the hardware, because we know that in testing in a pod or testing in a somewhere place is different than testing it on the main field, because main field is vast bigger than the simple experimenting pod. Field research, testing, experimentation, development of this device is very required. And for this only, Mr. Narendra Singh Jaswant, the principal and a prominent scientist of Industrial Training Center, CSIO, CSIR, Sector 30, gave me a meeting and helped me telling me about the field researches, testing and experimentations. I presented him the idea, he liked it too, and told me that he would grant me any type of financial, technical or any support regarding this under the PRISM scheme done by Government of India. Thank you. Now I would like to tell the practical basis of my project, because without practical, who would know that what this project works? So telling this is the main Arduino chip, better say CPU of the whole system. It is the hardware program. This is our Bluetooth chip and this is the main setup, better say sensors. As we can see, our HyderView system is giving the status that the soil content is okay. It is giving in Hindi because many places the farmer doesn't know how to speak English or how to read English. So speaking in Hindi. Now we could say census is already telling us that the soil water amount is okay. And we could also read it. But what happens if water amount is more in soil? Therefore, I took a beaker where this water amount is more, and we can read that it is saying that mitti bahut gili hai. It is saying that soil has more water than the required amount. And if I didn't put it in the water, which I could take as a system or as an example that the soil is very dry, and it is also telling me that it needs water. Therefore, I could say my system, if given a little type of more improvement, is the best system and most cheapest system available on market or available by someone, anyone that could be given to a farmer for more better results in the field. Thank you.